Hey guys, DJ Jack back with you here real quick with another video. In this video, it's rock and roll Prodcast news and historical facts about about not this day in rock history, but real true stories that was being considered for rock and roll in early days of rock and roll. One, we did end up losing the lead singer and the writer of the song 1966 hit Wild Thing. Chip Taylor passed away earlier this week, so sadly, God bless the guy. But here is some rock and roll stories that you probably didn't know that are facts that actually, including from ChatGPT, they say they're fan rumors, but they're actually not fan rumors, including to Google and AI. They're actually are actually true. So, let's get into it. The Doors, after Jim Morrison passed away, the surviving members of the Doors were considered, and Paul Rodgers came out himself actually and confirmed this. This is actually true, that the Doors were actually considering in the late 60s and early 70s, they were actually considering Paul Rodgers to be the replacement lead singer of the Doors. They tried to hunt down Paul Rodgers. They traveled to England. The surviving members traveled to England and tried to hunt down Paul Rodgers after his success. It didn't actually happen, but it was being considered, basically. And Paul Rodgers has came out himself and confirmed that this actually did happen. It actually did. It's very, very interesting. Also, a thing that was being considered, Phil Collins was being considered from The Who, basically, about possibly taking over Keith Moon. But that never actually became a thing, even though it was being considered by the members of The Who. And Phil Collins was getting ready to leave Genesis because they were thinking about having him join The Who, but Phil Collins was very successful in Genesis, so he decided to stay. But it's very interesting. These stories are very interesting. But one fact that is actually a true fact and did actually end up happening. All these stories are true, but this one is particularly a real thing that actually happened, and that didn't end up becoming a consideration. Actually, did happen. The lyrics of Walk This Way, of the song titled of Aerosmith's song, Walk This Way actually came from the movie Young Frankenstein, from the actors when they made the scene in the line. One of the lines said walk this way, and then the other line also said back walk this way. So basically, that song actually came from the movie Young Frankenstein. Call that when they were saying "Walk This Way," and the members of Aerosmith were fans of that movie, brought an influence on them and got them the idea. It inspired that song for Aerosmith to write that song, and sing that song and record it. So very interesting stories. These are all very fascinating rock and roll stories that you probably didn't know. And these are interesting. But besides that, hit the subscribe button. We'll talk later. Before I go, one other thing. Phil Collins did end up playing with The Who at Live Aid, though. That is actually a true statement, too. So this is very, very interesting rock and roll news. And this is the Rock and Roll Podcast with DJ Jack. Thanks.